Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live at 5. I'm Beth Stevens.
And I'm Paul Wontorek.
It's December 4th.
Is it December 4th? It's
but
Monday.
You are acting like it's December 25th.
Yeah, we have ugly Christmas sweaters.
I think they're beautiful.
From Fox. Fox sent these. They're doing, obviously, a Christmas story. Talk about who's here today.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have a wonderful guest from M Butterfly. Celeste Den is here.
I love this production of M Butterfly.
We love
and
it.
So I love everything about it. So I'm happy she's here. She's fantastic. And like you said, a little scary in the show.
Totally scary in a good way.
In a good way.
It's part of
I
the
like
thing.
That.
Yeah, it's what you're supposed to be doing.
So we got like some nice gifts from Fox.
Let's show
A Christmas Story Live obviously is happening. So we got these ugly sweaters.
It's all about the lamp.
Yeah, well, mine has a lamp too. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But mine blinks. But some of the lights, I think the batteries died in shipping. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, so it's kind of half blinking, but I love it. It's similar to when remember we got Rydell High T-shirts. Which was fun,
and we got
Grease
pom
Live.
poms, and
then we also
stuff.
got this Advent. Don't you love Advent calendars?
I'm Jewish.
Well, Advent.
We don't do that. What was in there before?
A big part of my childhood. And so what you do is every day it leads up to the 17th, which is when it's live on Fox.
Oh,
so
I get
every
it.
day you open it, right? That's what you do. Did you know about that?
I'm not.
And then you get
I
a
live in the
candy.
world.
You get a candy and a quote. And the
what's the
quote
quote?
is, "I triple dog dare you." I like that one.
That's a good
So anyway,
quote.
this is fun. Thank you, Fox.
Thanks, Fox.
I'm going to wear this every day.
You have a lot of props today.
I'm going to eat the candy. We're going to.
Oh, great. Can we talk about the news before you eat the candy?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good.
Well, wait, first of all, can we just say Once in a Silence, a big fat Broadway hit?
We told you
Yay!
guys.
We love that show.
Didn't we tell them? We loved it, and now it's a big hit.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I mean, I've always loved this show, but this production is
It's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
So anyway, I'm excited.
I'm going to take this news really seriously. I hope it's good news. You have chocolate in your mouth.
Anyway, and then tonight there's an opening.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
I have a lot of props today.
Yeah.
Ryan Lee Gilbert loaned his vinyl. He bought the vinyl of the SpongeBob SquarePants cast recording. It's not open yet because I think they're yellow. I think the discs are yellow.
Oh.
Which is cool. But we're not going to open it because maybe he
It's not
bought it for
ours.
someone for like a Christmas present. I don't know. Anyway,
We're
he said
ruining that
you can
surprise.
borrow this, and I'm happy he did. It opens tonight at the
Opens
Palace
tonight
Theater.
at the Palace.
Another show I love. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
You want
What?
to tell? Can we
let's
talk about the news?
news.
I'm sorry.
Armie
I'm
Hammer.
listening.
You guys, everyone's talking about Armie Hammer.
Yes.
Don't you love the name Army?
I do.
It's A-R-M-I-E, not like A-R-M-Y. Not
Thank
like
you.
Army, Navy, Air Force.
Very helpful.
Armie Hammer is right now getting a lot of great acclaim for Call Me By Your Name.
Right. With Timothée Chalamet.
I wanted you to say it because I knew you were going to say it correctly.
Chalamet.
And he
Sorry.
just got a Indie Spirit nomination for that. Anyway, he's coming to Broadway, which is cool because he's sort of like the hot thing right now. Armie Hammer and Tom Skerritt have both been announced for Straight White Men.
By young Gene Lee.
Yes, and this play actually premiered at the Public, like 3 years ago, in 2014, I believe, with a different cast. But now it's coming to Broadway. Obviously, Second Stage has a Broadway theater now, right? The Helen Hayes will become Second Stage. And so Armie Hammer is also known for Nocturnal Animals, The Lone Ranger, which didn't do well, but he was adorable in it. It's The Social Network. And J. Edgar, he was great in that SAG nomination. He played like the secret boyfriend of J.
Don't
Edgar.
ruin it.
Anyway, and Tom Skerritt, you guys, he was on Broadway in A Time to Kill, and he's done countless movies. But
So
most
many.
importantly, what's the most important movie credit?
Steel Magnolias.
Thank you. Steel Magnolia, remember the gun? He was Sally Field's husband. He was so good. Anyway, Straight White Men takes place on Christmas Eve.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but Tyler, who owns that album, said we are welcome to open it if you want to open up the SpongeBob album. We've been given permission.
Oh, really?
On
Did we
Facebook
actually
Live.
have permission?
We do.
I'm going to open it then. Okay.
Okay.
Straight White Men takes
Thanks,
place on
Tyler.
Christmas Eve, where Ed, Tom Skerritt, has gathered his 3 adult sons, and guess what? They're straight white men. I think, unless there's a twist.
There is a twist. You have to keep reading.
Anyway, they celebrate with matching pajamas, trash talking, and Chinese takeout.
Which sounds
but
like
when
a
a
good
question
night.
they can't answer interrupts their holiday cheer, they are forced to confront their own identities. So maybe that's the twist. Anyway, I didn't see it at the Public, but it's playing on Broadway starting when, Beth? I got
June
distracted.
29th, and then opens on July 23rd.
So we have to wait a long time.
Summer.
Yeah, it's
6
a summer
months.
show. It's summer opening. We love those. We like our summer hours. Oh, look how pretty. Thank you,
Squidward.
Tyler. And then let's look at a disc, shall we? I've never seen a, the rumors are true. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Please don't drop it.
Look at that.
Please don't scratch
What a
it.
beautiful piece of art. It's like pop art.
It's beautiful.
Right? Anyway.
And I bet it sounds good too.
So anyway, thanks for letting us open it.
This is the most
Beth, what news do you
random
have?
news. We know Celeste Den is here. Okay. So you guys know about the damn Yankees concert everyone's talking about. Well,
Crazy cast.
but this is big because if you know anything about baseball or if you don't.
No, I know about this
you
guy.
know about this guy
Everyone
because he's
knows
super
this guy.
famous. Reggie Jackson is joining the concert. I'm just saying. I don't know what he's doing, but he's a superstar
I'm
Hall of
assuming
Famer.
he's wandering on
he's
during
walking
You Gotta Have
on and
Heart.
maybe like, throwing a bat around or something. But this is December 11th at 7:30 at the Stephen Sondheim Theater. I'm really excited. 21 Major League Baseball seasons, Reggie Jackson. He had a candy bar. Did you know that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
We're old, ladies and gentlemen. We're old.
Yeah.
Anyway, this also stars Matt Morrison, Stephen Bogartis,
Crazy
Adrian
cast.
Warren, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Whoopi Goldberg, Danny Burstein, Victoria Clark, Annie Golden, Julie Halston.
It's gonna. I mean, they're gonna end
come
up
on, it's a
bringing it on
benefit.
Broadway, right?
You're gonna-
I mean,
gonna
it's
make
gonna
us
be
all-
one of those.
I hope
This is
so.
what Roundabout does. They do concerts and then they become productions. Like Hello, Kiss Me Kate with Kelly O'Hara. You guys, full lyrics. Just saying, it's really cool. Anyway, I like vinyl. It's just fun. You know, when
It
you're a
is
kid,
fun.
that's
You
what
need to
looked
have a
at,
record
right?
player, but it's good.
I have a record player.
you do.
Candy Barres, everybody. I don't know how many of our viewers know Candy Barres, but if you're a Real Housewives of Atlanta fan, you know her. She's joining the cast of Chicago as Mama Morton, January 15th through March 11th. She was in the 90s group Escape, X-S-C-A-P. I
Really?
remember them.
Oh, wow.
And by the way, fun fact, she wrote 2 of your favorite songs. Not Beth's, but 2 of mine. No Scrubs, TLC, and Can You Pay My Bills? Destiny's Child.
She co-wrote those?
She co-wrote those.
Talented lady.
So she doesn't need the money,
And she's a Real Housewife.
but she wanted to do Broadway, and she's a Real Housewife of Atlanta. And
That's exciting.
that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So she's going to be right next door. So maybe she'll stop by for Live at 5.
I hope so.
Yeah, let's do that.
We love a Mama Morton anyway. Okay, so the Evening Standard Awards came out in London. This is from the Evening Standard paper, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to who won. Andrew Garfield for Angels in America,
That's
which is
exciting.
coming here to Broadway.
He's going to be a big Tony contender.
I should hope
Yeah.
so. That part. Glenda Jackson for King Lear, the female version of King Lear.
Also coming to Broadway.
Yes. And
Lauren just leaned on the
Lauren
lights.
just leaned on the lights, but that's okay. We still will allow her to come back
okay.
later. Amber Riley
Lauren.
won for Dreamgirls. Lauren Murphy just ruined Live at 5.
We have the seat. Yeah, anyway. The chairs are near the light switch.
It's
all
okay.
good.
It's okay.
It's all good. It's live.
Amber Riley won for Dreamgirls. Effie
Which
White.
I don't know if we're going to see this performance on Broadway. We thought. I mean, she won the Olivia, and we've been waiting for this, but I don't know.
I know.
I'm losing patience.
I know. Calm down. It's gonna be okay. And Bat Out of Hell won the Audience Award. This is coming back to the West End April 2nd at the Dominion Theater, and I think we need to plan a London trip because we didn't get to see Bat Out of Hell, and you know we're gonna
And
love
it's
it.
literally a musical based on the album Bat Out of Hell, which means you have to see it.
Jim Steinman, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which
But the weird thing is
who
they don't
wrote our
give
favorite
out-
musical, Dance of the Vampires.
So
We
good.
love that musical.
They don't give out. Beth had a very important date at that show.
We don't have to talk about it now.
They don't give out Best Musical. They just give out the Audience Award for
This is
Best
the
Musical.
Audience
so
Award.
it's interesting. It's like the
The
Bravo.com
People's
Audience
Choice. The
Awards.
People's Choice.
Anyway, so yeah, congrats to all. So the Grammys are happening, and last week we announced the 3 albums that are nominated for show album. People were upset that there were only 3.
Right.
Did some research, found out it's actually a statistical thing because there were less than 40 eligible albums. They only nominate 3, so it's not.
Oh, there's
It's
logic
not
to it.
shade. It's a rule.
It feels shady.
So,
now.
but we thought, well, what about the other 35 albums? Which of those do you guys think deserve the nomination? And these are the top 5. Number 5, Groundhog Day. Number 4, Sunny in the Park with George. Number 3, Bandstand. Number 2, Anastasia. And number 1, Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet
of 1812.
of 1812. Anyway, so congrats to the
Winners of the
non-nominees who won our snub poll.
Yeah, they won the Culturalist.
Fans love you.
We have new information about Miss Laurie Metcalf, who won a Tony last year for.
This is Beth. You told me this.
I did. I did. I can predict things sometimes. Even though I go to like 3 movies a year.
But she saw
Laurie
Lady Bird.
Metcalf is in Lady Bird. She plays the mother of Saoirse Ronan, and she's fantastic. And she just
You're
won.
so good at saying her name.
You're welcome. She just won the National Board of Review award.
Because
She's
Beth said she might win an Oscar. That's what you said.
It's a pretty amazing performance.
This is good. This is like a
And her
build-up award.
Tony, and Sachin knows everything about movies, and he's nodding. He taught me how to say Chalamet. I don't know how to say Chalamet. I'm working on it. Laurie Metcalf is a 3-time Emmy winner. She won last year's
just won the
Tony.
Tony. Yeah.
And she's returning to Broadway in 3 Tall Women. You know, that's
With
the
Glenda
thing about
Jackson, who
with
just
Glenda
won an
Jackson,
Standing Award.
That's right. And the thing about Laurie Metcalf that I love is that she does a movie and she doesn't care. She's just coming back to Broadway.
And
just
she's
coming
filming
back.
Roseanne right now, you guys, which is
She
even
has a
more
range.
exciting than any of this.
This is a big range. Exciting for different people. Different things excite different people.
We're almost done. Anna Villafañe, who you fell in love with in On Your Feet, just landed a TV. She's going to be the star of a TV show called History of Them. It's in the pilot stage of CBS. She will play a woman in her 20s who runs a food truck for her family. Fun. Why not? I love a food truck. And she won a Theater World Award for On Your Feet, of course. And
Yes.
she's been here on
And she
Live
was
at
our
5,
vlogger.
So we love her. Huh?
And she was our vlogger.
Oh, yeah, of course. Everyone's been a vlogger.
Not everyone.
Including Haley Kilgore, who just opened in On Your Feet.
No, Once on this Island.
Once on this Island.
Timothée
and Lily
Chalamet
Cooper,
has not
who
been a
opens
vlogger.
tonight
Say it right.
in SpongeBob SquarePants. They're both currently vloggers. And we have opening night photos from Once on this Island. And Sachin's coughing.
Good segue.
You might as well turn the lights on, Lauren. I'm just kidding. Once on this Island opening night photos from last night, which are great. And we have some footage of SpongeBob SquarePants. And by the way, go watch my Tina Landau interview because she's the director and she's super talented. And then your fresh face, who'd you do fresh face
Ariel
with?
Stachel of The Band's Visit.
Who is amazing, who's making the rounds. He was at the Once on this Island party last night.
He's working it, and he should, because he's a super talented
He's
guy.
great and
And of course,
handsome
in the
and
show,
adorable.
he's got that great pickup line.
Yeah,
Do you like Chet Baker? And then I asked him his pickup line of women, so read it and find out.
yeah. And we're going to take a quick break, but during the break, don't tune out because, first of all, we have a great guest
Celeste Den.
from M. Butterfly.
Yes.
And also, watch this clip right now. So Jonathan Groff, we asked a lot of actors to do shout-outs, and all they have to do is say, hi, I'm Beth Stevens, and
You're watching the Broadway.com show.
That's all you have to say.
That's it.
But Jonathan Groff had
Can't
a
do
really
it.
hard time
No
doing
problem.
that
Yeah.
because he has giggle fits. So enjoy this footage, and we'll be right back.
Hi. Whew, okay. Okay. Everyone's looking down. Okay. I'm gonna do a pause for editing. Hi, this is Jonathan Groff, and you're watching the Broadway.com show. Hi, this is Jonathan Groff, and you're watching the Broadway.com show. Hi, this is Jonathan Groff, and you're watching the Broadway.com show. Okay. Hi, this is Jonathan Groff. Okay.
I love this.
I'm sorry. Okay. 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 I can't do it. Okay, no, I'm gonna do it. Hi. I would just say, maybe I won't say hi.
Okay.
Okay.
However you want.
Okay. This is Jonathan Groff.
Do you want an action, maybe? Should I do action?
Sure, sure.
Okay. Just pretend I'm David Fincher.
Okay. I can't do it. Okay.
All right. Action.
Hi.
No. Do this.
Okay, no, I got it. Here I go. Here I go. I got it. Hi, this is Jonathan Groff, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass, I'm waving through a window.
Welcome back to Live at 5. I'm Beth Stevens, and I'm so excited because I'm here with M. Butterfly, Celeste Den. Hello, Celeste.
Hello.
Thank you for coming in.
Of course.
You know we love this production.
I mean, I love it too.
Before we start, I just have to say, have you all recovered from the Jonathan Groff Laugh Fest? Because we were enjoying it ourselves.
Yes. I mean, I've barely recovered.
Yeah. We're like watching it. Celeste is like, why is he so perfect? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Hey.
Hi.
How's the show going?
It's going great. It's going really well. As with any run, it just like the more we do it, the deeper things get. And we delight ourselves with all the tiny little things that only we notice. So it's still a love fest over there.
Well, actually, what we were saying before, that you play a very militant character, tough, Comrade Chin, she's got a lot going on. How has it feel for you to get into the mindset of this person?
Actually, I know this comes as a shock, but I play a lot of characters.
No,
like
that's
that.
true. That's true. But that is the most memorable one for the audience, I think.
Yes, and I'm a relatively fervent person when it comes to today's current politics as well. So I found it quite easy to just kind of put myself in that mind frame of just how enraged I get.
You're channeling your rage through
Yes,
this character.
I do. Oh, I can't
Is it
tell
cathartic?
you. It is a little bit. I mean, I definitely don't agree with the Cultural Revolution, but as far as, really throwing yourself in there for what you believe in, I'm all for that.
You put Jinha through it.
I do. But he's kind of obnoxious to me in the play.
In the play. Offstage, they're love. It's
Yes.
only love.
Yes, I love Jinha.
Tell me a little bit about the process of creating this play, because it's so different than the original production. But the original production meant so much to so many people, and yet this is just, it's like a continuation. It's like people who love it will still love it, maybe even more.
Yes, I think so too, because the play meant a lot to me, as reading it as a 11th grader in English class and really discovering what it is that literature and drama can bring up in conversation about, East versus West, connotations of who we are versus who we perceive other people to be, and to be able to be a part of this kind of transformation, metamorphosis, Julie likes to call it, and I love it, metamorphosis of a modern classic. And I feel like it was 100% necessary. I agree with everything that Julie and David have talked about, and it really served us in the room that everybody was on the same page about updating the story. For me personally, I always was interested in the narrative of song.
Yeah.
Because you don't get a lot of that in the
And
in
it's
the old
not as
script.
surprising maybe as it was originally.
Right.
In terms of just a big reveal.
Yes. And the worst thing in the world is not homosexual sex,
Right.
So some of those
In
things...
case you're wondering, yeah.
Some of those things needed to be updated for it to be relevant at all. And so it gave us a huge opportunity to really look at what other things can be brought up, what other questions and themes can we tease out of it that was already kind of buried in there, but the culture just wasn't ready to have the conversation yet at the time.
It's such a testament to live theater.
Yes, and to David
Henry Hwang and Julie Taymor, because that's really the only place this is a Tony-winning play.
Yes.
And it's not just frozen in time. They've been able to give it a metamorphosis,
Yes.
to use Julie Taymor's word, and update it and really make it just become alive in a different era.
Yes, and we started with the foundation of, okay, what is the relationship? What is the love story between these two people? Because in the old version, you don't quite feel what the relationship cost Song, other than politically and maybe the time of his life, like the 20 years that he spent. But here in this production, you really see
the heartbreak.
Yes, the betrayal of the character Song. That courtroom scene and the following, it just breaks my heart every night to see him say, "This is who I am. You said we can start anew. Let's start new and be who we are." And to have him betrayed not only by the idea that the West equals freedom, but by his lover, who finally sees him for who he is and then decides to turn his back on him.
So you play how many different characters in this piece?
I play, 1, 2, 3 characters and, scenery moving person.
Well, the set is very, I would say it looks simple and it seems very complicated at the same time.
But I appreciate that because Julie's directorial concept, especially in the production design, was very simple but resonant, and that's my favorite. When you can take a concept that resonates in the most significant way, but simplify it into a very specific aesthetic. It was only when we got into tech that we were like, oh, this is very difficult to execute.
It looks so simple in my mind.
Yeah, but it's just like a fluid dance choreography that everybody participates in every night.
It works so well.
I get a kick out of it every night.
Tell me about your background as an actor. When did you start performing?
Oh my goodness. I did not start performing until the end of my senior year in high school.
And where did you grow up? I know that you moved here when you were 8.
I moved here from Taipei, Taiwan when I was 8 years old, and I moved to Miami because my father he still is at the time he was in Ecuador in South America. So Miami was the closest place in the United States to South America, so that's where we moved to. I was very academic. I did sports. I kind of was, already a jack of all trades, master of none. And then a friend of mine actually asked me if I would audition for her one-act play.
Oh.
And I was like, your one-act play is about a boat full of Cuban people trying to reach Miami, so why would I audition for that?
Well, you do speak Spanish, right?
I do speak Spanish, but it was still like, look at my face. But she was like, just come. And so I just did, because it was one of the only things I didn't kind of touch on in high school, and I just fell in love with it. I have a super cheesy, on the night of my 18th birthday, we opened the night of one acts, and I remember when the lights went black and the audience applauded. And
you were hooked.
We had executed the play perfectly, rhythm, pace, everything, and I remember looking up into the dark and being like, well, this is it.
Wow, that's cool. You really got bitten by that bug hard. Yeah. So then you went on to study.
Yes. But I went to college, and it was like, I'm gonna do theater. I showed up to class and was like, what's upstage, downstage? What is scene work? I didn't know anything, so I kind of got to build myself
That might be
up
easier to
around
teach
that.
than someone who thinks they know everything. I don't know. If you're a teacher, let us know if that's true. We have some questions, and this is a big one.
Okay.
Alec is asking from our Facebook Live people, and he's sorry if you've already answered this, probably a million times. What is it like performing with Clive Owen?
Unfortunately, in my scenes with Clive Owen, I am actively ignoring him and pretending he is not there.
Which is a difficult task.
Yes, with the exception of like the embassy scenes where we're
Right.
just kind of like party goers. But I will tell you that he is as awesome as you think he is. He is
I think he's pretty awesome, so that's good.
So down to earth. This is, my first time on Broadway, first time performing in New York, and definitely at this level of visibility with people of these significant reputations as artists. And I was a little bit, anxious. And we got in the room, David, Julie, and Clive were just so warm, so generous, so collaborative. They really just made it feel like, okay, this is just everybody's
Let's put on the
together
play.
making a show, putting on a play. And he's funny. He's just
really
like a
stretching
super
himself as an
dude.
artist with this, I think.
Yes.
He's doing things that we haven't seen him do before.
Well, I feel like that's kind of, in my opinion, in my observation, it's kind of what he's been doing with his career, which I think is super wise. But if you ask him, he's not even really strategically thinking about
I didn't mean it in a
career moves,
strategic, manipulative way. I just mean he's just stretching his range.
Yeah. I mean, as we continue to grow as people, and I find this true to be myself, we bring more of who we are, and the more we learn, the more we bring to our projects, and the more kind of interesting, flawed people we want to play. And I feel like definitely in the last couple of things he's done that I've seen, he's really, really leaning into who he is now in the moment so that he can bring all of himself to his roles.
And then you can ignore him.
And then I can ignore him.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
Do you create, I know these parts that you're doing are not the big parts of the show, but do you create a backstory? Do you do all that work for them?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I have to.
Of course you have to. I guess
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
So does Comrade Chin have a first name?
It would be in Chinese, but
That makes sense.
I actually preferred just to leave that particular detail blank because of the backstory I created. I mean, within the context of the show, for me, the most significant moment is when he asks me to get him a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And given what we understand of Chinese culture and how easily they kind of throw away their infants, and especially females, I just made it a point in my own backstory for this particular role that was my line that I drew, that's not okay with me. Because my backstory for her is that she was thrown away, but somehow scrappily fought her way into her position and fought her way into power. So this kind of like absurd and kind of weird feminism that did kind of happen under Mao, however it got twisted, it did apply to her. So that was my backstory. And
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
At what point in the process do you like write that down or start thinking about it? Before rehearsals start?
I think about it before rehearsal starts more in kind of like broad strokes, and then as we move through the process, then things get clearer and clearer and clearer for me. Really up until tech, really up until we put on the costumes and we're running it in the full tech in the design and stuff. Then I'm constantly like, oh wow, well this is what this is like. Oh well, this moment's about the. I'm constantly learning what is really in the moment, what's really in the story. Even from performance to performance, even now, I'm still like, oh, this moment could mean this. I've been playing it like this, but it could also mean this. So it just gives
You're
me
always
like a
working
extra,
on it. That's such a lesson to people who want to be performers.
Yeah.
To just keep on working on your character no matter what.
Yes, of course, and especially
I love how you're like, of course, of course. Don't just say the lines.
It also keeps, especially in roles that are not as demanding as, let's say, Song or Renee. It's just we have to keep ourselves alive and keep ourselves interested and engaged and fully committed.
And the audience definitely can pick up on all of that.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
I hope
100%. Okay. Oh, well, Alec is asking, do you have any dream roles on Broadway?
I will steal a quote from Jin Ha, which is, I hope that my dream role hasn't been written yet, because I have yet to really read a part or any material that really reflects the full complexity of who I am as a person. An Asian immigrant who is also fully American, someone who is quite feminine but can also be quite masculine, so I want to see a role that fully reflects who I am, which is why I feel like representation really matters. So my answer to that will be, I hope that my dream role has not been written yet. But
please start writing it, whoever's
please
out
start
there.
writing, everyone, for me in particular. But I've been in the steady canon. I've been more and more drawn to Martha in Virginia Woolf.
Oh,
So.
You love those militant ladies. Valentine's asking, rate your stress level during tech. It looked like it may have been
it was a lot,
tough one,
but not any more than any other production, I would say, for myself.
I mean, you were in very good hands.
Yes.
I mean, Julia Taymor's the best.
I actually found it quite inspirational to see just how specific she is, So on the one hand, it's like, yes, everybody is pushing themselves to do our best and give our best and give her fulfill
And make the
vision
panels
that she
go to the right
has.
place.
Yes. But my level was nothing compared to Jin Ha. I cannot say enough about Jin Ha.
And he kept it together.
Kept it together, super zen, just hands on his person constantly, every single day, adjusting this, trying this, and he was just super zen, move through it like a champ.
You have to be focused to get through something like that.
Yeah, and still just like delivers every single time, every single moment. It's never a false moment with him.
That's wonderful to hear.
Can you tell I like him?
We all like him. Okay, do you sing? Would you like to be in a musical? People are asking.
I can carry a tune. However, I am not a legit singer, which is another reason why I'm so grateful for this opportunity, because I can carry a tune and I move well, but I'm not a legit singer or dancer. I am nowhere near the level of, people in this city in particular for Triple Threats and stuff. So to have this opportunity in this play with this role, I honestly don't know what else could have brought me to Broadway and New York at this time in my life.
Where were you right before this production? Were you living in New York City?
I am based in LA. This is not just my Broadway debut, it's my first time on a New York stage.
Right.
I've shot one small TV thing here before, but other than that, this is my first time working in New York, and I love it.
Baptism by fire.
Before this, I was living in LA, I work a lot at South Coast Repertory. And
where a lot of plays have their world premiere, which is great to work on new work.
Their literary department is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great organization. It's kind of my home away from home, really.
So you get to originate a lot of roles then.
Well, not quite yet.
I'm working on it.
I originated one role with them in Zoe Kazan's play, and that was such a thrill. Also because it was Lila Neugebauer.
The up-and-coming director whose name comes up at least
She
2 to
is
3 times a week on this show.
Incredible. Incredible. Love her. And the two of them together, I don't know if you saw After the Blast.
I haven't seen it.
It closed, but
Oh,
definitely
I know, but I didn't see it.
when they publish the play, read it. I couldn't stop thinking about it for like a week. And
Wow.
so those two powerhouse women together, I just think are magic.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Celeste, thank you for coming here and
Thanks.
talking to me.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody has to go see M Butterfly. There isn't a lot of time left, unfortunately. January 14th, is that right?
14th.
January 14th at the Court Theater. Do not miss this show.
Come visit us.
And I'll see you tomorrow.